Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Recipe with Dr. Stepheny Finnie. It is my hope that through each segment, you will receive ingredients to live your best life. One seasoning I'm personally passionate about is in the area of health and wellness. Specifically, I provide non toxic, chemical free feminine care products that work. Additionally, I host an Instagram live titled, Do You Know What's in Your Feminine Care? But I will speak more about this at the end of the show. Please welcome back my co host, Mr. Dezz Lewis, and special guest, Charmaine Santos of Second Chance Financial Solutions. Let me bring them on camera. All right. Hello, Miss Santos. Hello, how are you? Please introduce yourself and then Mr. Lewis.
Oh, hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Charmaine Santos of Second Chance Financial Solutions. And basically, I'm definitely here to talk about your financial needs and help you where you need any areas in that category.
Awesome.
And I'm Dezz Lewis, your educator, motivational speaker, HBCU advocate, and I'm here to just unwind and uncork this evening.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for those introductions. Before we begin our discussion, let's open up with some music to kick off today's show. Whether driving in your car or connecting with us by tablet, computer, or cell phone, please take some time to uncork and unwind with Blast Off by Silk Sonic.
Clouds out blowing, don't know where we're going, but we're levitating up in this room. All these colors just like rainbows in summer, got us smiling like our dreams just came true. Yeah. I took a little something to get here. Yeah. I got a little more if you're ready. We can have it all. Let's tiptoe to a magical place. Rest up and kiss the moon tonight. Watch the world go crazy from outer space. Rest up into the sky. As we're flying, stars are multiplying. We're up so high, we'd be fools to look down. Shapes turn paisley, this is so amazing. Destination, pure sensation, starting right now. I took a little something to get here. Yeah. I got a little more if you're ready. We can have it all. Let's tiptoe to a magical place. Rest up and kiss the moon tonight. Watch the world go crazy from outer space. Blast off into the sky. You wanna bring it, come on. It's time to take this party up and beyond. Let's tiptoe to the magical place. Come fly with me, let's start and kiss the moon tonight. To the moon and the stars and love. Watch the world look crazy. You know they say take us to get there. Let's go into the sky. take it higher? Oh yeah. Lasting off straight to sweet vibrations. Can we take it higher? Oh yeah. Lasting off straight to sweet vibrations. Can we take it higher? Oh yeah. Lasting off straight to sweet vibrations. Can we take it higher? Oh yeah. Come on. Lasting off straight to sweet vibrations. Can we take it higher? Oh yeah.
All the way from the stratosphere, sending love from up above. Happy trails, Mama.
Okay, what you guys think of the Uncork and Unwind selection for today?
You know, it always puts me in a good mood. So anything they do,
Yep.
it straightens that groove up. But I love them. They're like that old funk 70s.
Yes.
They liken to Earth, Wind, and Fire to me. So
Yes.
anything they do, I'm ready for it.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Okay. Just wanted to get your take. I'm trying to bring in different things, but nevertheless, let's get into our introductory discussion. The first one is highly acclaimed actors Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance have announced a premiere date for their highly anticipated project, 1,000 Years of Slavery, The Untold Story. The Smithsonian Channel will air the 4-part docuseries on February 7th in collaboration with MTV, and Vance will serve as a narrator. According to press release by Ebony, the series uncovers the truth of a 1,000-year story of slavery around the world, as leading Black actors, celebrities, and influencers such as Debbie Allen, Valerie Jarrett, Lorraine Toussaint, Soledad O'Brien, CCH Pounder, Senator Cory Booker, etc. Keep going on. Go on journeys to confront their personal connection to slavery and its legacy today. From Africa to the Caribbean, from New Orleans to Istanbul, this special series explores slavery's lasting and personal impact on individuals and society in order to reframe history. Your thoughts?
Definitely, it's a refreshing opportunity to bring information to all of us who don't know, even the new generation who don't know a lot about slavery, and it's not taught in schools. So if you could put a different opportunity to bring it to people's attention, now that a lot of people aren't able to really go anywhere, not even to movies, theaters and stuff like that. So this is a great opportunity to capture people's attention and get the new generation educated on slavery.
I love it. You know, anytime we can be the architects of our narrative and our stories, and man, as an educator, it's crucial, especially during this time when they're trying to remove that from being talked about in schools the way that it should be talked about. The key to this is the people who've invested in it, they're brilliant. Courtney B, Angela Bassett, anything they do, I'm here for it. I really am interested to watch it. I didn't know about it until here recently. I've heard about it, but I'll watch it. I think it's important. Most importantly, I hope that people sit down with their children and watch, like Roots. Sometimes I get sick of the depiction of slavery because we were more than that. Somebody please go to Africa and make some movies before I go again, before we got to this wretched land, so that we can see who we really were. But when you tell these stories, they're needed, especially during these times with this generation. The kids getting these people to sit down and watch it. This generation, you know, you used to sit down and watch television with your family. It was like family night, movie night to watch. Then, unless we're pushing the hip hop narrative right now, these kids don't care. I hate to say it, not the majority of them, but a lot of them
they're not
Yeah.
gonna know.
They're not
Yeah.
here for it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, and I'm glad they said 1,000 years of slavery, because it stretches beyond. You hear the 400 years is the traditional.
Mhm.
That's what we've learned, and it's
That's
like,
what they wrote.
that's it. And then as
Mhm.
far as the schools, which is what Miss Santos was talking about, I'm like, I remember growing up, you get the little bit of something, but they don't go into it. They don't go into the details. And if you go to countries like Germany, for example, or even Australia, they actually have monuments to show, like, okay, I'll give you an example. Germany, there are streets that say, such and such lived here. This person was a Holocaust victim and they died
Mhm.
in such and such concentration camp. And that's all over different areas, because they want you to remember that this is what we did, and we don't need to do this again. We don't need to go back. We need to change, the narrative, and
Mhm.
move away from that, because if we don't remember what we did, then we're probably bound to do it again.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that they're trying to say, oh, look at this is the terrible things we did. They're just trying to learn from it so that you don't repeat the action. And the other thing, it's a consistent reminder. No
Yes.
different than in Australia. They have things up about the Aborigines, and
Mhm.
it's just right there for you to see. This is what happened. This is what we did. It's right there in front and center for you to see. And it's like, okay, we can't even get some real information on what it was like. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking Roots, but I agree with you. We were so much more than that.
Mhm.
So
they redid it, the
they
second
did.
version,
I saw it.
and being an adult, like I didn't watch the original one until I was an adult. It came on like one Christmas break, and I just sat there and binge watched all of it. I was like, okay.
Mhm.
But for this time, documentaries, I've been into them all, like for the last 3 months, documentary,
Okay.
and they pique good discussion.
Yes.
So Roots was more of a movie, and it was more like it's true. It's a true story. It was Alex Haley's story.
Mhm.
This 1,000 years around the world. And, a lot of people limit slavery to just America.
Mhm.
As you said, Australia, the UK. In college, I went to the Dominican Republic. That was one of the first stops
Mhm.
for the slave trade. So to see it during Black History Month will be. I want us to be more than just 1 month. Like,
Amen.
because I'm from a predominantly white town,
Mhm.
and growing up, it was like almost, what y'all doing for Black History Month? And they looked at us to do it, and it's like, wow,
Mhm.
we get 1 month. And so it almost became like cringe worthy, knowing that February was coming and they was going to expect us to perform. And this is the only time we could recite Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes, and the rest of it was like, okay, y'all turn that off until next February. They didn't teach about it, wasn't in the curriculum, but during this month, they made it a point to make sure you sing, make sure you dance, and we're honoring your heritage. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
When we're going to have Hispanic Heritage Month, which is a thing now.
Yes.
And they don't, in Oklahoma, the Black history is kind of taboo. It's really Native
We talked
American.
about that.
Yeah,
We talked about that last week with the Tulsa massacre in
exactly.
1921.
Yeah. So at the same time, I'm excited for this docuseries that they're going to do, and I will watch and report back live.
Oh yes. The next topic: Kaepernick's new book advocates for the end of policing and imprisonment. I'm like, everybody's coming out with a new book.
Yes.
I think that's great. And this is actually old news, because this was October of 2021, but I didn't know that because I didn't know about the book. But nevertheless, I need to go find it. He has come. Colin Kaepernick has come full circle to grasp that the only way to get ahead of the establishment is to build something of your own.
Okay.
This revelation led the former football player turned activist to launch Kaepernick Publishing in 2019 with the mission to elevate a new generation of writers with diverse views and voices to help build a better and more just world. Now, the publishing house at that time, that would have been in October, was releasing its first offering, Abolition for the People, the Movement for a Future Without Policing and Prisons, a collection of more than 30 essays. The anthology examines the anti-Black roots of policing and imprisonment. Writers and activists such as Miriam Kaba, I'm not gonna say these names. I'm not gonna mess them up, but it's a group. I was gonna keep it real. I don't even want to mess them up and do them injustice.
That's me.
Findings through historical exposition, research data, and personal essays. Some that take us through their own firsthand realities of being incarcerated. And artist Emory Douglas, best known for as the former Minister of Culture for the Black Panther Party, designed the striking art cover. So,
Okay.
you know, in the book, Kaepernick talks about how, you know, he sharpened his own views after studying the writings of political advocates like Malcolm X, Angela Davis, etc. And, you know, he's, you know, decided that this is what he wants to do. He's proud to have this edited collection, and he hopes that, you know, it adds to the chorus of voices calling for a world without and beyond policing and prisons.
Right.
Yeah.
I love him. He's
I
an
do
inspiration.
too.
I mean,
I do too.
and he found his purpose
He did. He
through
did.
his struggle, and
He really
I
did.
like that about him. I'll read the book.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know about the book. I knew about the movie. I didn't know about the book. His
Exactly.
autobiography. I knew about his autobiography, but I didn't know about this particular book.
Did you see his story on Netflix?
Yes.
I know I did.
Interesting.
Yes, I did.
Oh my!
Me
It
and my
was
husband
there. Go ahead.
No, we were glued to our seats. We were just totally enlightened about his story because, you know, it just painted a different picture of really what his struggle was from the beginning. You know, he had already just insecurities about how people, you know, would treat him, you know, like he struggled with that, even with the whole him being raised in a family of a Caucasian family, and then you know, coming all the way down to the line of him becoming a football player, how they looked at him and how they, you know, it was just I mean, I can go because I might be just telling the story just as I'm, you know, and someone hasn't got a chance to look at it, but
Spoiler alert.
I know I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that because I literally felt like, oh my goodness, I'm like, I know this guy now. I know this guy, and it doesn't matter if it, you know, because I thought about, you know, him as a male, a Black male going through that, but we Black women go through that as well. We might not go through it the way the general, you know, men have to go through that profiling and things like that. But I know when I step into a room sometimes, and if I'm the only Black woman in that room, it's almost kind of like, what are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? So it kind of painted that picture, like you could feel his how he felt about, you know, how people thought in regards to how they treated him in life, and all the way down to his career. So I just, oh my goodness, it was such a good, I was just waiting for more. After it was over, I was like, I want more. I just, you know, I just felt like I wanted to know more about him, because television and newspapers did not really paint a large profile of what this man really endured. He endured a lot, bending on that knee. From before he had to bend on that knee.
Come on now.
Before, right? Before he bent down on that knee, he went through a lot. He was just done. At that point, he was like, it's over. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm bending down on his knee. I'm letting everyone know I'm not taking it no more. And that's just how I felt. I was like, you know what? I get it. I totally get it. And I respect it because I know what that feels like. I truly can understand and empathize with him.
I really, it kind of brought him full circle for me too. You always wonder, like, how did you get to this point? And like, you've been in the NFL, and I understand the injustices that he faced. I think America made it worse than what it really was. The kneeling thing, they took it to like kneeling 2.0, and and also his story, his childhood trauma predestined him to be who he was. Like, he had enough way before then.
Yeah. And that's what I, like I said, I can appreciate it. So of course, you know, the book is going to be unfiltered because television is going to kind of, you know, there's going to kind of, you know, not give it's going to give a little bit, but the book is going to probably be very straightforward.
They can't tell it all on TV. No, dialogue.
They can't. So it's going to be very, very raw and uncut. So
yeah. Yeah, I thought it was amazing with him in the contrast of how even the mom and dad saw him, on there, how they saw him and how, the mom wanted him to be with this type of girl and this, that, and the other, but that wasn't who he wanted to be with. It just wasn't in him. And then, how, the preferred sport was baseball and not football, but that wasn't what he wanted. And it's like, it was different to see to see the dynamic is what I'll say. Very, very good. Very much worth watching.
It tripped me out. I was like,
yeah.
Those parents were a trip.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how about the producer? The producer of that, what was it, Ava?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Ava. I love her.
Oh, when I looked at who the producer was, I said, that's why it was so well, directed. Because she is just, she's a powerhouse in the, in the movie industry. So I said, no wonder why it was just eloquently put in so many words, because it really, really gave us a real clear picture of this just phenomenal man. He's just a phenomenal man, strong, very strong. And we all watched it. My son, my husband, we really truly enjoyed it. So we're looking for that book to see what it's going to say and what it's going to give us, strength about, because we all are strengthened by other people's stories. I'm a person that loves true stories. I can't really get into it if it's not a true story.
Right.
So I'm a lover of fiction. I love facts. True facts.
Yeah. True stories have a way of, it just makes you kind of feel like the person after you get done watching it. Mm-hmm. That's how I was with Madam C.J. Walker. When I saw her movie, I was like, oh my God, it makes sense now. She was a businesswoman long before.
Absolutely.
And it connected the dots for me. You brought up something because I live here in the area. And so I've been to her brownstone. I've seen it. And it's like, I see it. I see now. I can connect the dots. I can see where the hotel where only Black people could go to is torn down, but the structure, of it is still there. And I said, okay, I see how they would congregate here in this space. And you can kind of put it in your mind frame. It's like, oh my gosh, it's clicking now. It's clicking. I got it.
Wow.
Every time I see something that is a true story and I can be able to connect the dots like you, Stephanie, I just stand there and like in that moment be like, it's like an aha moment as some people always have. But I'm proud to say that I don't know her, but they tried to paint her as the villain, but she was just a smarter woman.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She was definitely about her business.
I was like, this has to be for TV. But she outsmarted her. That's all.
Yes.
It worked her product. She just sold it better. You got McDonald's, we got McDowell's.
Right?
Yes.
It's all in the marketing. It
is. McDonald's, McDowell's.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's all in the marketing.
Mm-hmm.
She made it better. She perfected it.
She did. And this is a great time to take a break. So we're going to pause and then we will be right back with the recipe with my co-host, Mr. Dezz Lewis, and special guest, Charmaine Santos. We'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's your girl Lisa Dene, and I want to tell you about a product that has changed my life. Rain Premium Sanitary Napkins. Rain products are infused with a Nobel Prize-winning material called graphene. It's the graphene strip that provides the various health benefits that can improve your quality of life during that time of the month. Listen, I've been very loyal to a certain brand of feminine products, but I've never experienced the results I get with Rain products. The difference is in the graphene strip. Using Rain products has totally eliminated the painful cramps I experience, and it can also help balance your body's pH, eliminate harmful bacteria, and help fight fatigue. Graphene moves heat away from your core to keep you cool and comfortable. Ladies, it's time to upgrade your feminine care with products that not only offer protection, but also improve your health and wellness. Place your order today and receive your premium sanitary napkins delivered directly to your door. Visit www.drfcare.com to make your purchase today. And don't forget to mention that your girl Lisa Dene and Stunner Radio sent you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Recipe with my co-host, Mr. Dezz Lewis.
Hello.
And Miss Charmaine Santos.
Hi.
All right. So next topic that we have in play is not the best topic, but still a topic of discussion. And that is General Charles McGee, one of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen, passes away at 102 years old. And this was actually from January the 18th, 2022. General Charles McGee, who flew 104 fighter combat missions in 3 wars as a Tuskegee Airman, passed away at age 102. Vice President Kamala Harris, along with Secretary of Defense Lloyd J. Austin III, confirmed his passing on Twitter. Today we lost a hero, an American hero, Austin wrote. Charles McGee, one of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen, passed away at the age of 102. While I am saddened by his loss, I am incredibly grateful for his sacrifice, his legacy, and character. Rest in peace, General. This just a little background. After the Army Corps was forced to admit Black pilots, McGee was part of the first class of over 900 men to receive flight training in Alabama from 1940 to 1946. One of the inaugural class of pilots, around 450 were deployed overseas, with 150 losing their lives in training or combat. And so, that tells you how strenuous the actual training was itself. And then to go into combat, and he was one of the first African Americans to oversee a stateside Air Force wing and base in the integrated Air Force, and holds the distinction of being one of only a few pilots, Black or white, who flew combat missions during the Korean and Vietnam Wars.
Wow.
Cool.
Yep.
Yes.
Definitely.
So, I mean, I feel like every time we end up, it seems like every week somebody has recently transitioned. It's just like, oh my gosh, it is what it is. It's a part of life. But the Tuskegee Airmen, that's a story. That's a story to tell.
Are there any more left?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I had the honor of meeting one in 2011 here in Oklahoma, so it was pretty awesome. He lived in Forest Park. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So he was cool. And then when I went to Tuskegee, and they honor the Tuskegee Airmen there so beautifully on their campus. And they do have a Air Force National Guard for a collegiate chapter there.
Wow.
The movie Red Tails.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I didn't learn about them until I was an adult.
Me too. Definitely, I didn't learn about them, and I learned about them from the movie, and then started doing research because I was like, "Oh, my bad! I didn't even know about this."
Yep, they don't say it in schools.
Yeah. The movie prompted me to do research,
and I'm eager to really look. I'm gonna just ask one of my cousins. Let me see your history book from school, because they're all online now. I want to see in 2022 what it looks like. I know what it looked like then, but especially for this generation, like, how will they learn to respect and honor the history if they don't know it, and the people who's teaching them to it don't look like them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's true.
Absolutely. Just a little bit more background about him. After a 30-year career in the Air Force and logging over 6,308 flying hours, McGee retired in 1973 as a colonel. He returned to school after retiring from the military and earned a bachelor's degree in business from Columbia College in Missouri in 1978. He worked in real estate and directed the Charles B. Wheeler Downtown Airport in Kansas City. A terminal was named after him last year.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. Yep. And in addition, his daughter, McGee Smith of Athens, Ohio, and Annapolis, Maryland. These are survivors. They include two children. He's got 14 great grandchildren, a great great granddaughter.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Wow.
Yep. So he lived a full life. You know what I'm saying? I love to hear that. When I hear of people that transition, it's not the best thing to hear, but when you hear about everything that they did and the life that they lived, it's like, okay, it's so great that they had a full life to go with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they made an impact.
Yes.
And to live 102 years.
102.
Man.
He probably could write a book.
I'm gonna research him, see if he had any interviews.
Absolutely.
He could write 3 or 4 books, bestsellers. You know how much he's seen in his life.
Yes.
All those different decades, he lived through all of them.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You did. You're right.
When you think about that, it's like, oh my gosh, if I could just go into your mind, into your brain and see, it's not just about the time that he lived, but see it the way he saw it and understand it the way he went through it, because then you feel it the way he felt it. I mean, all of those transitions of, dealing with segregation, but also dealing with, just living life and, being married and having kids and, retiring from the military with a full career and all these honors, and then still, being in real estate and doing all these other things. It's like, this is amazing. If you could see it the way he saw it.
How did it become his normal, like real estate? Just he got out of the Air Force and just went on about life, and he probably never really knew he was a hero. That's one thing about people who are heroes. They don't see themselves as heroes. My grandfather will be 95 on February 2nd. And some of the stories he used to tell me, he doesn't talk much anymore, but every time I move to a state, like, I did work there. I've been there. I'm like, where haven't you been?
Wow.
He likes to tell you about the wars he was in, and he went to 2 of them. So it's very interesting. I just look at him sometimes, but like, man, you are a legend. He'd be like, oh no, I'm just little old me.
Oh.
Sounds just like history just is, enriched in your families. I think it's beautiful that
his dad lived till he was 102. He died in April. He died April his funeral was April 8th, 2002. And he was 102.
So your family has a legacy of long life. I mean,
and as an adult, I said, this man was 77 when I was born. Because I was born in 1977, so my great-grandfather was 77 when I was born.
Wow.
It cracks me up now, but I'm like, he been old all my life, but at the same time, he didn't act it,
Yeah. Had a young heart, young soul.
Sure did. Yeah, sure does. I mean, I like I said, I am like always a person that is in love with just history and people, because I work with people that literally are trying to always, take care of their loved ones, their elderly, and you learn so much from them. Oh,
yes, you do.
So much humility, so much life that was there, And so
I love talking to him. I love sitting down. I'm an old man. I get a cup of coffee and we can just talk.
Cup of coffee.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess my spirit just really attracts him, because no matter where, I can be in the airport and I'll help somebody do something. Then we'll talk until time to get on the plane. Sometimes we on the same plane, and he's like, "You're such a nice person. You're such a nice young man." In church, my wife was like, "These old women just love you." She's like, "Whose lipstick you got on your coat today?" I'd be like,
"Oh."
I open doors for them, and I grab their little bags and help them to their car. And they'd be like, I'm the widow keeper."
Oh my goodness.
Too much.
Too much. Just gotta love it though.
Yeah,
gotta love it.
I do.
You have an old soul too.
Yeah, I just love them. I'll be like, man, we've been experiencing a lot of death in the community here as well, and so it kind of shakes you up too. It puts it in perspective.
Yeah.
When the elders are leaving, you're like, we're now on our way to being the elders.
Aren't we?
Aren't we?
I said, boy, aren't we? Yes, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that really shook me up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, let's kick it up on I don't want to say a brighter note, but
Okay.
just slightly different, and talk about Whole Foods claims First Amendment violation if forced to allow employees to wear Black Lives Matter insignia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In a court filing, Whole Food claims, and this is January 11th, 2022, that its constitutional rights were being violated if forced to allow its employees to wear Black Lives Matter insignia while at work. The legal team for the grocery chain filed a claim on December 17th in response to the National Labor Relations Board, alleging that Whole Foods illegally inhibited employees from wearing Black Lives Matter masks on the job. In the
Mm-hmm.
filing, Whole Foods accuses, what is this, Jennifer Abruzzo, the general counsel of the National Labor Relations Board, of attempting to violate the company's First Amendment rights by trying to compel speech. What you think about that?
You know, I get that stuff like that incenses me.
Mhm.
If you can't come to my job and not be offended, if you're offended by what I have on, the problem is not the employees, the problem is the person that's shopping. But because it's a business, they're trying to protect their customer instead of their employees. So you see what they value. They value the dollar. Because I guarantee you, all it took was one Karen to walk in there and be like, why do they have that on? That's a hate group. And I say, it's not a hate group. It's a fact. And if you can't look past that, you can wear your LBGT stuff there. You can wear anything that is a movement. But when Black Lives Matter becomes an issue, I have an issue because I'm not caught up in the organization. I'm not caught up, but I am caught up in, if you can't look at Black Lives Matter and everything going on in the world and say that my life matters, I have a problem with you and Whole Foods. And thank you, because I like Sprouts anyway.
And thank
Whole
you.
Foods want your whole check.
They do. They really do. Yeah, it's very expensive.
I like Trader Joe's. I
Forget
do.
about them.
I love Trader Joe's.
Yeah, but I read that I saw it popped up on the CNN on crawler one day, and I said, you know, this is it's not the business, it's the customers who are complaining. And so that the Whole Foods is kind of caught in a, do we protect our consumer, do we protect our employee? And at the same time, it's nothing but about money. Starbucks tried to go through the same thing. They immediately came back and corrected it, but they'd already had a lot of negative press anyway with their background. So Whole Foods, they don't want that smoke. But
Yeah,
see, we don't shop at Whole Foods in masses, so their clientele would be offended.
Yeah.
And so that you gotta think about that.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. In October 2020, Whole Foods announced a new dress code for all employees in its stores that banned visible logos, slogans, messages, or flags of any kind, among other things. And they had a lawsuit. Back in 2020, in July of 2020, a group of employees sued Whole Foods, alleging that the company prohibited them from wearing the Black Lives Matter mask at work and threatened them with termination if they kept wearing them. The lawsuit also stated that employees had commonly worn pride flags in support of their LGBTQ co-workers without being disciplined by Whole Foods, and that the company's selective enforcement of its dress code constitutes unlawful discrimination. Now, I agree with that 100%. I do, because you can't support LGBTQ and not support Black Lives Matter. You can't do that. You're going to have to pick a side and stay on that side. If you say that we're banning our logos, any visible logos, slogans, messages, flags of any kind, then that means LGBTQ as well.
Got it.
All of it. So that right there is the discrepancy. That's the discrepancy, because you're not consistent in your discrimination. As a matter of fact, I like the way they termed it. They said with their selective enforcement.
Come on now. So that alone lets you know, as my old people used to say, what time it is.
You are going back. You are old, so today for real.
Y'all know what time it is.
Yes. I agree.
I don't condone discrimination on any level, but if you're gonna do it, at least be consistent with it.
That's it. Just be consistent. Yes, I can't deal with selective discrimination or selective enforcement of policies. No, we need to be consistent
across the board.
Just
wear this Whole Foods hat and this Whole Food apron, and just
that's it.
and then I'm gonna get on Whole Foods side. I could be the devil's advocate very well. If it's my business and we have a dress code and you don't wear it, you out of here. At the same time, it is a private business, but where they messed up is when they selectively forgot to discipline the other group.
That's it.
So you got to be consistent. Consistency always wins in every aspect of life.
Well, and you brought up a very good point, because, how about this? How about we nip it in the bud and we say, look, this is the dress code. I'm giving you some shirts. I'm giving you some hats. I'm giving you this apron, and you can wear either jeans, slacks, whatever. We're going to tell you what you wear, and, wear comfortable shoes, so you're going to be on your feet, and that's that. And so this is the dress code. I gave it to you. If you wear something other than this, it's going to be a problem. We actually gave you the dress code, and we gave you things to support that at the beginning when you got hired. Then nips it in the bud.
On that same note, it's kind of like in my classroom, I have a whole little spiel I give about rules. I don't believe in rules. They're made to be broken. But when something happens that I don't like, I address it immediately. And so I usually tell them I can get a little antsy when if you push my button, I'll be like, I'll tell them, you know what you need to do? You're like, you need to graduate, get a job, get a degree. First of all, get a degree, get a job. And if you really want my job, get a master's degree and get your own classroom. But this is mine. So the people that work at Whole Foods, either the Black Lives Matter crowd, I'm on Whole Foods side now. Y'all need to either get a garden, get a produce stand, or go to a farmer's market, because that's Whole Foods store. And you can sue them, but at the same time, it's a private business. Where they got them, like I said earlier, is because what? It wasn't consistent. But you got to be, if you're gonna be a consistent SOB, be a consistent SOB. Equal opportunity. SOB. You can't just, and it's the term Black. If they had them, they said all lives matter, they could wear them all day long.
Great point. Great
so
point.
When people rebuttal me with that, they be like, "Well, all lives matter." Well, do they? Let's have a conversation. I got time. I clock in real quick. I got time. I could work at Whole Foods. I could, because I would be I'd wear it every day. I'll draw me a tattoo on my hand, so I'm packing folks' groceries up, checking them out. If you're like, here's your change. Can I get I'll swipe your card for you?
Okay, you're doing too much. All right. Well, on that note, which I'm glad it was not a sour note, that lifted me up from the Tuskegee Airmen passing away. Let's take a quick break, and then we will be right back with the recipe.
All right.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, comedian actress Coca Brown. And I got to give a huge shout out to my girl, Dr. Stepheny Finnie, because she put me on. What? To the Jewel sanitary napkin. These babies are amazing. Not only are they good to me, they're good for me. Not only do they help with absorption, moisture control, and protection, because yes, sometimes I like to wear white, but these babies also have a great ingredient called graphene that helps with cramps. Huh? Are you kidding me? So you're telling me that I'm protected and I can control my moods a little bit? I love it. So please make sure you hit up my girl, Dr. Stepheny Finnie. They have a variety of sizes for every kind of flow, whether it's heavy, light, overnight, she got you. So make sure you hit up my girl, Dr. Stepheny Finnie, and get you some Jewel sanitary napkins today. I strongly endorse these, honey, especially if you're like me. You need all the help you can get for that time of the month. All right?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Recipe with Dr. Stepheny Finnie and my co-host, Mr. Dezz Lewis.
Hello. How you doing, people? Are you driving? Are you riding? Are you watching? Are you listening? I just hope you're having a good evening.
Yes, and Charmaine Santos of Second Chance Financial Solutions.
Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are enjoying the show.
Awesome. Well, this leads us to Miss Santos of Second Chance Solutions. And, I just want you to take the time, as you have since the new year, and give us that tidbit on credit repair, restoration, protection. I am a fan. I already have the service. Why? It's about protection for me. But everybody does it for different reasons. If they do take it, I feel like it's long-term financial care. Just like people have long-term care, I have long-term financial care. And I'm keeping it because I love the fact that if I deal with any type of issues, as far as my credit, all I have to do is tap into that service and it will be restored or repaired. How about that?
Well, I definitely agree with you, Stephanie. First of all, thank you for even entrusting me with your finances as regards to helping you rectify and get protection on that. Because like we were talking about last week, we do everything to put protection on everything else. But when it comes down to our money, we kind of, feel a little bit funny about having to pay a monthly fee on certain things like keeping it protected. But what we're finding out as we're going into the beginning of the year, this is around tax time. And a lot of times people are having issues with protection on their money, their taxes, things like that. They're getting hacked when it comes to their websites. And when you have to backtrack and do all of those things after that, those situations have happened, it brings frustration. It brings a loss to your business. And most of the time it puts you in a frame of mind where you've been violated. And my husband always says, we sometimes as a people, we are reactive instead of being proactive. And so when we, are in looking at things in that limelight, we tend to realize that we're thinking on a mindset where we have to change it. Because if we're already thinking that, hey, nothing's going to happen, I'm good, and things like that, and then we have a reactive nature to our situation, we usually are hasty. We're quick to get it situated because at that point in time, we have to get it done quickly and rectify it quickly. But it would be better if you already have those things in place and you already have that protection lined up so that you don't have to worry, so that you don't have to make quick decisions or hasty decisions at the last minute, because doing that is not going to be well in the sense for you as well, because you have to think you're doing something immediate and there's no thought into it. There's no, there's no time in what you're trying to do. When we have our protection plan, we're thinking about and we're helping to change the future of your finances, because you haven't been taught in school that. So we're reteaching you how to manage your money. A lot of times people don't have the time. They're like, look, you do it. I'm like, isn't that how you began in the first place? Isn't that how you are in the situation that you are in now? Don't you want to educate yourself on what's going on with your money and how your money is being used and where it's going, and just have a clear view of what's going on with it 24/7. And so our protection plan does that. It gives you the opportunity to know where you are. It gives you the blueprint of how to manage your money. It also gives you instruction on how to keep your money in a financial solid foundation. It keeps you right where you need to be. And so a lot of people don't realize that pretty much 112 million people out there are struggling with their finances, and they're struggling with their credit score. They struggle with this credit score low as a 580. And so that's a lot of people. And so when you think about that, you think about all these millions of people who don't have a high credit score, you wonder why. Why aren't they being educated? It's not being taught in school. You have to go pay for it if you went to a college. So when we go through the process of helping our clients, we are not only helping them to just get on the right path, we're educating them. It's the financial literacy part that I totally myself and my husband were educated on, and that just from that point on, we just went on with helping so many other individuals get to that same situation, and the rest is history. So we are in love with what we do. We're in love with the fact that we've been able to help so many people, educate our families, friends, people that I come across all the time. They say, hey, I'm about to pay this $6,000 bill on my credit report. I'm like, before you do that, please consult with me, because that bill has already been paid for. They're like, what? I'm like, please give me a call.
What's your number? I need to give you a call.
Yes, because that's the first thing they want to do. And so is pay the debt. And I get it, because that person is right up on them. They're harassing them for the money. And I get it. But this is the thing. Anything that falls on your credit report, it has already been sold. And so that's the whole, I guess you could say, the whole, I guess you could say the blind to the facts. I love that song. Don't be blind to the facts. When
all right, come on now.
Hello, when you are blind to the facts, you're going to pay that money because you are being hasty. You're not
harassed.
Mm-hmm. You're not thinking about the whole situation. You just think about.
I'm feeling harassed.
Yes. The thing is that's what you don't want to do. You know, you don't want to be hasty, and you don't want to be blind to the facts. Get the information from those who know it, and get with a plan, a protection plan that's going to help you and protect your family, because that's the one thing that you want to do. Credit is everything right now. Money is not even looked at as a commodity. Credit is looked at as a commodity, and if you have credit, it goes on much longer than money.
Come on now.
Mm-hmm. Really
and that's a shame we didn't learn this until I probably started really paying attention to my credit 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. You know, because in college, I get a credit card, do what I need to do with it, and be like, all right, then. Right. Because my thing has always been, once I learned the 7-year rule, I was like, oh, I got 7 years. Well, that's fine. You know, now in my 40s, 7 years is a lifetime.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is.
I'm wasting a good time now.
And a lot of people will put themselves in a broke mind mentality.
Come on now. When the mind
broke mind mentality, because that's what it is. They'd rather hold on to that debt than to rectify it and get it turned around and reestablished and pretty much, restored, and so when you stay in that broke mentality, that's exactly what you're going to be, broke. And so that's what we try to help people to change that mindset, change the way they're doing things, change the way they view money, change the way you view money, and that is the start, but my consultations are always within 10 to 15 minutes. I let people know you don't have to pay me. Most people have a payment just to even get 2 words of questions in. And I'm like, why are you charging this person $1,000 just to get 2 questions answered when you have people that are able to give you free information? And that's the thing. Be careful of those who are doing that, because you're seeing that a lot now, with people putting out their cost, to get everything done. But I do not want to put my whole trust in my Social Security in someone's hands that basically is not really showing you what they're doing with it.
Come on now. And that's the problem that my wife and I had with the last person who was helping us with our credit. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like on a need to know basis. No, this is my life you dealing with, sir.
Yeah.
And it was frustrating my wife to the point to where she was like, literally like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's just cut ties with them. And it's someone we knew, so that made it ties kind of
more difficult,
uncomfortable for her, not for me.
Yes.
But it's and like you said, not knowing, because they think you want to learn how to do the business. No, if I want to do credit, I'd sit down and learn. I just need you to let me know what you're doing and how you're doing it. And as an educator, it's just basically, I don't want you to teach me, I want you to educate me on my credit. Don't
Right.
chastise me either.
Right. Right. I have had so much, success in this business. I have met so many people from so many different walks of life. So yeah, I'm really like I said, check out my page. We even have another page that we tie people in to see the results of what we do with our business, which is on Facebook. It's called Epic. It's called Epic.
Epic.
It's called Epic. Facebook Epic. I'll
Okay.
definitely see if I can go ahead and send it to Stepheny's TV show and get those who want that link. But it's when you connect with me on Facebook and Instagram under Charmaine Credit Advocate, you'll find me there, and you'll find out information, and I could share those videos with you and all the results that a lot of our clients have had. So there's no secrets. There's nothing to hide. We have it all out there for you guys to see. So I'm looking forward to helping as many people as I can to get that home, to get that car, get that low interest rate, and get their finances together. So definitely check me out.
I will.
Yes,
Y'all do too, viewers and listeners. Y'all go check her out.
Absolutely. Yeah. I appreciate you. Like I said, I feel so confident. That's the thing. You pay for peace of mind as well when you get into this type of service. And so, I thank you for being the person that you are, because you bring that comfort level. I'm like, oh, I ain't worried about my social security number. I'm good. She good people. It's gonna be okay. We got it. And that's what people are looking for. They are not just looking for a service in, doing the job, but in how you provide the service. I trust this person enough to be able to feel like, yeah, I'm good. You just go on and handle this. I feel like I'm being taken care of. I can rest well at night knowing that everything's being done decent, proper, and in order.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Stepheny. I definitely want to give you all appreciation to you for allowing me to, use your platform to speak to people about this. So thank you.
Absolutely. And you've already told everybody how they can contact you. So thank you so much. For my co-host, Mr. Dezz Lewis, do you have any final remarks for our listeners today?
My final remarks of today is stay warm, be great, and live your life. It's too short.
Absolutely.
Amen to that. Before I go, if anyone watching, listening is on Instagram, please tune in tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as I provide a serving of health and wellness in the area of feminine health care. And for any men out there, please do not shy away from this topic, because if you have important women in your life, you also need to know about this information. Well, that's it for me, everyone. Again, I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Recipe. And now I'm going to allow singer, songwriter, television personality, and founding member of Sisters with Voices, Lily from SWV, to provide her endorsement of RAIN, previously known as Jewel Feminine Care. We will see you next time on The Recipe as we bring you all of the ingredients for living your best life. Take care.
And the packaging, it says Jewel on it. And she sent me so many different, it's for moderate flow, heavy flow. Hold on. And this was my favorite.
That is my favorite.
I can always appreciate an overnight. But what I was really impressed by was the length, how long it was,
and how it's not as thick.
If you guys still get those friends, sometimes that thing could just be out of control and never do what you asked it to do. It'd be all over the place. But honestly, I had absolutely no problems at all. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate this product so good, because a lot of people, they want to send you stuff, and it's like, okay, you want to believe in everybody, but everybody's product is not a good product, especially something when it comes to feminine hygiene and sanitary this and you got to be very careful, because sometimes, whatever the stuff is made with, it don't always agree with your body chemistry, but I had absolutely no problems, and I wouldn't even say this if I didn't mean it. I gave the girls in my podcast, they use it. My podcast member, she don't even use sanitary napkins. She's like a tampon girl. Mm-hmm. But she really appreciated this, and I thought, I have to tell you this. I couldn't wait to get on here to tell you this. So for everybody that's on here that's still going through them, getting those monthly visitors, please support Dr. Finnie's business. I tried it myself, and I loved it.